Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. My name is Chester. I'm the program manager, as they mentioned, at the Genius. And today, probably not a lot of people are familiar with Microsoft advertising. It's always the second thought. Everyone focuses on Google. I think today, hopefully, I'll give you, motivations to kind of look at things differently, look at, exploring media spend and your media strategies for your clients differently. Yeah, first of all, a little bit of background in the timeline of Netflix and Microsoft advertising. So the relationship came from the Microsoft acquisition of Xandr from AT&T back in 2021. Through the acquisition of Xandr, Microsoft got the exclusive right to Netflix advertising. And since then, back in 2022, Netflix started launching the ad-supported tier in a couple of countries. And then they started the password crackdowns and so on to start pushing people onto this ad-supported plan. And by 2023, just last year in November, the ad tier subscriber for Netflix has already reached about 23 million active monthly users. So we've seen like a really huge increase and really fast growth in terms of the ad-supported tier users. And just 2 months ago in February, Microsoft has announced the closed alpha of Netflix advertising into their Microsoft advertising platform. So this gives advertisers opportunities to increase traffic and buy inventories through Netflix. And recently Netflix been on the headlines for different news publishing channels, mainly because of their strategic move into profitabilities as a business. What they're doing is obviously, as I mentioned, the password sharing crackdown and the introductions of the ad-supported tiers. Since that happened, we're seeing a lot of increase, and it's effectively pushing people leeching onto their families and friends accounts onto ad-supported tier. I will go into a bit of detail in terms of the ad plans and the subscriber plan differences in a bit. But currently the ad-supported plan is launched in 12 countries. On the screen here you can see it, so I won't list it out. But since they started rolling out, they try to do it quite carefully because obviously, as an example of, Netflix ads, the same way for Netflix platform, it was open to the public, all free of charge, without ads. And then they start introducing tiers, and then they ask you to pay for premium. Netflix is very conscious of keeping their customers happy, so they're doing it slowly, gradually throughout the countries, and then also having the opportunities to have you obviously have the standard plan. If you're already on the standard plan, you won't see that. But for people that doesn't have an account, they give you opportunity to sort of downgrade with the standard with ads. And as you can see, the differences are actually not that big of a difference between standard with ads or standard tiers. The only difference is that you can't download to watch the shows offline. And obviously, you get ads coming in between your shows and so on. So effectively pushing people into this plan. In terms of the ad format, I just wanted to introduce. So when Netflix first became available back in 2022, it was only available for the WPP agencies in the world with about 5 to 10 million minimum spend requirements. So very premium inventories, not accessible for any advertisers. But the opportunity that we're introducing today is within Microsoft advertising platform, which have no minimum spend commitments onto the media spend. There is a minimum CPM. All the ads are charged on the CPM model. Your bid strategies on CPM models. But these opportunities give you ad format into Netflix for non-skippable ads, either pre-roll or mid-roll with a frequency cap. In terms of the frequency cap, it's automatically set to 3 impressions a day, 40 impressions per week, and 40 impressions per month. So you're to avoid ad fatigue for your client. And When it comes to the Netflix opportunity within Microsoft, they call it a deal because currently it's quite limited inventories within Microsoft and Netflix inventories. So you simply select a deal based on your targeting options. There are a couple of different ones you can select based on run-off network, which is essentially all available Netflix inventory that you can pick from as long as the audience targeting meets whatever you're setting for. Or there is top 10 shows, so you can target by top 10 region shows, top 10 dramas, top 10 comedies, and so on. Or you can target by genre, so you can specific genres, you can exclude specific genre. Then with that first top of layers identified, you go into kind of a second layer. Okay, now I'm targeting, for example, top 10 shows. Then it gives you the option to see, okay, these are the inventory that's available for demographics in terms of age group, gender, so you can then fine tune in terms of what audience you'd like to kind of showcase. And as I mentioned, you have a minimum CPM to pay, although there's no minimum budget. It's kind of the CPM on the more premium side, and that's also the minimum amount of budget that you need to have for the campaigns. And lastly, in terms of the reporting, it's kind of your standard awareness reporting that will be available within the Microsoft advertising platform as well. So you have impressions shared, CPV, CPM, video view percentages, completion rates, and so on. But yeah, jumping into YouTube, I think more people are kind of probably more familiar with YouTube advertising, and there's a couple of different formats. That's also the advantages of YouTube as well. You have the flexibility to choose between like skippable, non-skippable, bumper, in-feed, even like display ads within YouTube's. And the targeting options are also, very comprehensive for you to kind of look at and kind of play around with and fine tune. However, the view through rate is usually a little bit lower on the YouTube side. Some of the graph that some of the study that we've seen is for on-demand service ranking between streaming services. Netflix is obviously currently running at the top with about 59% of the household subscribing to the services, followed by Prime Videos and Disney Plus, and so on. And we also did an analysis on the engagement and reach across different streaming services, including YouTube as well. This kind of depends on the forms of content and the length across different platforms as well. Netflix currently has the highest engagement rate, retention rate after 2 hours, followed by YouTube. YouTube doesn't have as long as an engagement rate after 2 hours because their content on the platform is usually short form, so it's understandable their customers doesn't stay on the platform for that long. When we look into the demographic breakdown, Netflix has about, the majority of the customers are aged between 18 to 49, and while YouTube is about like 25 to 34, slightly a little bit on the younger side. So on that front, what we see is Netflix has an older, more mature audience, although the reach is about like 23 million on the ad tier, and YouTube, you probably get like 4 billion users, so like the reach is a lot higher, but typically the audience are a bit younger with lower purchasing intent or purchasing power. Gender split is pretty even between two platforms, so that's pretty straightforward. Then the interesting part is this part in terms of the viewing habits. Netflix, most people watches on TV, so that's pretty, not a surprise to everyone. And YouTube, most people watches on their mobile. And the average time spent on Netflix per day is about 3.2 hours for users, and YouTube is about 19 minutes per day. So you have premium inventories with lower, kind of lower reach. However, they're very engaged with like long time during the day, and so on. And yeah, lastly, I think, in conclusion, to summarize kind of the comparison between like the two platforms, depending on your advertising strategies in terms of your awareness campaign, like Alex mentioned earlier on the full funnel solutions, is part of the crucial strategy for your client to kind of include awareness campaigns. But it depends on your region, your audience, how you wanna target them. It's quite different in terms of YouTube or Netflix. However, there are pros and cons between the two platforms. Netflix, as I mentioned, you have an entirely new audience that wasn't really there for you to advertise in the past. So that's new premium inventories for you to target with audience. However, with lower reach, and there's currently limited, targeting options in terms of you select a deal, you select kind of key audience segmentations or shows and so on to kind of target that way. Whereas YouTube has a lot more different ad formats that you can pick from, and depending on your strategies, there's different bidding strategies as well as targeting options. And CPC is typically a lot lower on YouTube side as well. But however, that's kind of the pros and cons between it. Currently, Netflix ads in the closed alpha is not available for QR codes to be within your video assets. However, they're currently doing tests that will be available pretty soon. So I think that's pretty much it. And focusing on your awareness campaigns, and also closing the gap with your search and shopping campaigns, remarketings. Those are usually where you see the incremental conversions and higher conversion rate coming from. So thank you so much.